Praise the Lord, everyone. Welcome to our June 9th City Council meeting. Please stand for invocation by Ms. Timmer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Lord, thank you so much that you are good and that you are kind to us. And I just praise you in the name of Jesus. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Alicia?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight's City Council agenda is divided into 4 sections: consent agenda, public hearing, public comment, and general business. The first section is consent agenda, includes routine items that can be approved with 1 vote.
May I have a motion, consent agenda? May I have a second?
Second.
Let's vote, please.
Not all folks have had a chance to log in. May I call the voice vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Fraudy?
Yeah.
Councilor Mischens?
Yes.
Councilor Reed?
Yes.
Councilor Timmer?
Abstain, I was not present.
Thank you. Councilor Wilder?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Deemer?
Yes.
Mayor Taylor?
Yes.
The motion passes. All right, the next section is public hearings. These are required by law or directed by council. Procedure: staff will give a presentation. The public can give comments. Individuals have 3 minutes to speak. If you're speaking for a group, you have 5. Group speakers must say which group they represent. Each group gets 1 spokesperson. Each speaker must say their name and their locality of residence. After public comments, the public hearing will close and the matter will rest with council. Agenda item number 2. Consideration of adopting a resolution amending the future land use map and adopting an ordinance changing the zoning of a certain area located at 1410 University Boulevard. Ms. Rachel Fresheisen, City Planner, will provide a summary of the request.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. The purpose of this petition is to allow for the reuse of a hotel structure as a dormitory housing for Liberty University. Planning Commission recommended approval of this item at their public hearing on March 13th. Our future land use map currently recommends community commercial for the subject property. These areas contain retail, personal service, entertainment, and restaurant type uses. The petition proposes to amend the future land use map from community commercial to institution. Our institutions are the religious, educational, and other nonprofit entities in the city, including churches, schools, universities, and others. The property was annexed into the city in 1958. The existing B3C Community Business District conditional zoning was established in 1997. The subject property at 1410 University Boulevard consists of approximately 2.75 acres and contains a 3-story hotel structure, which has 102 guest rooms. The building was constructed in 2002. The property is surrounded by the Liberty University campus. There are some commercial uses nearby along Candler's Mountain Road, and US 460 runs adjacent to the property. If the petition is approved, the existing hotel structure would be used as a dormitory and incorporated into the campus. The existing 102 rooms would be used for an anticipated maximum capacity of 204 beds. There is an existing parking area on the site, and no new buildings, additions, or parking areas are proposed. In summary, the uses proposed are permitted by right in the IN2 Institutional District 2. The proposed future land use map amendment to institution aligns with the requested zoning, and the use of the existing hotel as a dormitory should have limited impact on the surrounding area. Thank you.
Thank you. Would the petitioner like to make a presentation? Thanks, sir.
Good evening. I'm Dan Dieter. I'm with Liberty University, and I'm here to speak on behalf of the extended stay America purchase that we recently made in converting it to the dorm. We've actually named it the North Suites Dorm 99. We are super excited about this. It increases our on-campus housing. We do have some kind of further out properties, but we're super excited to be able to offer more housing directly adjacent to campus. We did put this out in our spring release for housing, and we've seen a dramatic response from the student body. These rooms are somewhat unique where they have little kitchenettes in them. So, the students can either dine at the dining hall or they can make their own meals. So we're just very excited about the project. We definitely want to get it open for this fall. We think it's going to be a full occupancy. We've got the parking figured out where we're not going to dedicate the hotel for the hotel guests. It's going to be in our standard parking maps. So it'll be part of the campus parking. I know that was one of the concerns that the Planning Commission had, was parking for the site. We're not going to guarantee every student that stays in that building their own parking spot as part of it. It'll be based on the parking pass that they get for the campus. So Rachel did a great job of explaining it. We're really just trying to get the zoning correct, or zoning changed to be part of the overall campus environment. So happy to take questions.
Thank you. We'll call you back.
Okay.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak in favor of this project? Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition? Are there any voicemails from citizens?
There are none.
Okay, public hearing is now closed. Let's vote. Well, in the discussion. Mr. Missions,
I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
you second it? Any discussion? Mr. Mission?
Appreciate the work you all doing, and it makes sense to just wrap this up with the institutional zoning, just like everything else. So thanks for putting that forward.
Mr. Dean?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate the work on this. I know the students are going to like it there, and I think it's a good thing in Ward 3 I represent. So I'm very happy to support it.
Ms. Reed?
Great idea. I think it's, obviously, we know it's needed. And I think that the students will like having the option of being able to have a little bit of an apartment experience, but also have the on-campus dining facility as well. So happy to approve it. Thank you.
It's a great idea. I was on campus the other day and I realized it wasn't a hotel anymore. I was like, oh, they've got that. But it's a great spot. So I'm glad you're continuing to expand on the campus. Thank you.
I'd like to say thank you all for the increase in population to my city. Thank you. Let's vote, please.
Initiating the vote for approval now. Motion passes 7-0. Just so that I am clear, so there was a rezoning and a
Rezoning.
plume. Was that for both?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you so much. Agenda item number 3. All right, consideration of adopting a resolution authorizing the 2026 bond anticipation note and introducing introducing a resolution amending the FY 2026 general water, sewer, and stormwater funds operating budgets to provide appropriations totaling $350,000 with resources from a bond anticipation note series 2026 for costs associated with the issuance of $90,500,000 in ban. Ms. Donna Witt, Chief Financial Officer, will provide a summary of the request.
Okay, thank you so much, Alicia. And we discussed this in a bid a couple of weeks ago. This is the next line of credit, as we've done in the past, to fund our current projects and future projects. And Senior Vice President Courtney Rogers with Davenport and Company is here to make a short presentation.
Welcome, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Great to see you all again. Saw you last in March. We were talking about the takeout of the existing bond anticipation note that we did 3 years ago. Tonight, we're here to talk about putting a new line in place for the next 3 years. And so we wanted to get the existing line taken out, which we did back in May, early May. And so we sent out a few days later a request for proposals to national, local, and regional banks. And so tonight, what we're going to talk about is the results. If you'll turn over to page 2. I don't have this overhead? There it is. On page 2, we asked for 2 options. We always want to kind of see what the market is going to bear, what the banks might bring to us. We looked at both fixed and variable. We've been using variable over the last several years. We received 6 different proposals. You'll see that 4 gave us both a fixed and a variable, and 2 only gave us a variable. So Truist, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, United Bank, M&T, and TD. On page 3, what we did is you'll see that we've got the top 2 are in shades of green, and then the rest are kind of gray or white. The 2 green ones are the ones we're going to focus on. The bottom 4 had for either their rates were too high or they had something else that didn't work. There was another reason, if you will, for not considering them. So what we want to do is focus on the Truist and JP Morgan lines. I will mention on this page, United Bank was the only one that had a fixed rate that worked for the things we were considering, but it's 100 basis points or almost 1% higher than the current variable rate. So we didn't take that in consideration because what we would have to do is basically take that money, and if we weren't using it, invest it, and the investment rate's about 1% lower. So it would have cost us a lot of money just to sit in the bank and lose money, if you will, until we needed it. Which is the whole purpose of having this line. We won't pay for it until we're actually using it. So one of the things that's taken into consideration when we're looking at the variable rate is these banks used as an index something called SOFR. It's a variable rate that basically matches what the Fed funds rate is, which is the overnight borrowing rate. And so if you follow the news, it's been trending down. You can see on the chart here in the upper right corner where it's been coming down. But at the moment, because of where inflation has been, they think that the rates may actually increase, believe it or not, in December or later this year, assuming that we don't get this war out of the way and get inflation back in check, that there's a chance that rates may go up. But even then, it's still better for us to have that variable rate outstanding more than that, because we just don't think that's going to go up by 100 basis points over the next 3 years. Could, but that's just not what we think. And even if it did, it's going to be so far out by the time we get 100 basis points up, we would have lost a lot of money going the fixed route. We ran a bunch of different scenarios, and it just made more sense to go variable. So this page 4 kind of outlines what we think, it's going to trace basically the Fed funds rates. When we kind of narrow it down and we look at JP Morgan and Truist side by side, what you'll see is the current rate right now would be a 368 for JP Morgan, who we've been using the last 2 times, and Truist is at a 346. So they really sharpened their pencil this time and came in with a great rate. As you can see, it's basically about 22 basis points lower. You'll see there's a formula. It's slightly different. They use the same one month SOFR, again, that variable rate index. You can see that Truist did 79% of that rate and then multiplied it by a factor of 60. JP Morgan did 80% and added a higher factor of 78. So in all cases, no matter what rates do, going up or down, Truist is going to be the better rate. Now, one thing I want to point out, because we haven't had that the last 2 times we've done this, and that is what we call it an unused fee. We tell them we want X dollars. If we don't use it, they charge a slight basis point fee. JP Morgan did not, you see, add a fee on there, but Truist did, but it's only 7 basis points. Even when we take that into account, that 22 basis point differential is still better using the lower Truist. And essentially what that is, when the banks, when they say we're going to lend you $90 million as a line of credit, they have to set aside on their balance sheet that number in case you ever came one day and said, we want all of it. They have to set it aside. What it costs them money to do that, because they're going out and hedging in the market and things like that. And so that's what's happened. I'm not surprised. And if you look back, I didn't go into it in details, but on the previous page, a couple of the banks actually had some lower rates, but had much, much higher unused fees. So we were actually pleased with the fee being as low as it was. But outside of that, everything else were things that we were in agreement with and thought that would work great for us. So our recommendation here on page 6 is to use Truist. Truist spread was lower. Their multiplier was lower. While they did have that unused fee, it basically is overcome by the fact that they have the lower rates. It is prepayable at any time, and that's important. When we get to the point we want to prepay it and take it out permanently, we can do it without any penalties. And their draw requirements, which is very important for staff, is they can draw basically 1 time per month, and there's no minimum amount. Sometimes some of the other proposals wanted to have minimum amounts, and it just gets a little cumbersome for staff. So it is fully credit approved already by Truist, so there's no concerns there. And so we're just looking for your your approval tonight, and we'll get that closed here before the end of the fiscal year.
Thank
Happy
you,
to
sir.
answer any questions, Mr. Mayor.
Is there any questions?
Just a quick one.
Yes, sir.
The unused rate, does anybody have an opinion on whether that's actually possible? Has that ever happened before?
Yes, sir. It's happened to in other situations, other localities that we've done. It's not unusual.
Okay.
I think part of it was the last 2 times rates have been so low that it hadn't been an issue.
Thank you.
May I have a motion? Public hearing.
Public hearing, Kevin. Thank you.
Oh, okay, public hearing. Is there anyone here want to speak in opposition? Anyone want to speak in favor? Are there any voicemails?
There are none.
Public hearing is now closed. May I have a motion on the bond anticipation note?
Second.
One clarification. Are we picking Truist as the lowest, best deal? Is that what we're voting on right now? Okay, just perfect. I'll second that.
Mr. Bishop?
Is this one motion for the bond anticipation note and one for the resolution for issuance costs? Is that correct?
We do, that's correct.
Because the resolution for issuance costs that's been uploaded into the system is actually showing as FY26 general water, sewer, and stormwater funds operating budgets amended. So we don't actually have a resolution for the issuance costs for us. I don't see it in the civic clerk. So we don't have a resolution to vote on for the issuance costs. That's the point that I want to make.
This is the issuance cost, because you are amending the general water, sewer, and stormwater funds operating budgets.
Is that what that is?
Issuance cost. So this is the issuance cost.
Okay, all right. Want to make sure.
So I see. So just for council's edification, there's 2 resolutions in your agenda item. The most important, it looks like, being the issuance of the bond anticipation note.
So we're amending. Got it. Now I understand what we're looking at. I just want to make sure we're clear on that. Thank you.
We had a motion and a second.
So moved, and I believe Dr. Wilder and Vice Mayor Deemer.
You want to speak to your motion?
That was me.
That was you. You want to speak to it?
I really don't need to. No, thank you, Mayor.
Dr. Wilder?
I will have, thank you for the presentation. It was very informative and clear to follow as far as how you went about that decision-making process, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
If there's no more discussion, let's vote, please.
Initiating the vote for the ban. Motion passes 7-0. Now you're looking for a vote for the issuance cost, or for a motion.
Have a motion on the insurance.
So moved.
Is there a second? Is that somebody second? So we got 2 seconds. Okay. You want to speak to your second? You want to speak to your motion?
No additional comments. Thank you for the presentation.
Cast your votes, please.
All right, initiating the vote for issuance cost now.
Hold on, there it is. I'm a yes if you're waiting on me, if it didn't come through.
You're a yes? Okay, thank you. The motion passes 7-0. All right, agenda item number 4. Consideration of adopting an ordinance granting Appalachian Power Company an easement right to provide electricity on 3525 John Catherine Road for Milestone Towers Limited Partnership v. in connection with the current lease held by the city. Lee Newland, city engineer, will provide a summary of the request.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, yes, Appalachian Power has asked for an easement on 3525 John Capron Road, which is the school bus transit facility. And it's to serve power to a cell tower that council has previously approved a lease on for Milestone Towers.
Thank you, sir. Would the petitioner like to make a presentation? Is there anyone here? No one here? Is there anyone else who would like to speak in favor of this project? No? Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition? Are there any voicemails? from
There are none.
citizens? Okay. Public hearing is now closed. May I have a motion?
Discussion.
That don't have any,
Okay.
you have a motion, and then you have discussion.
All right, I'll move to pass it. Yep.
Is there a second? You want to speak to your motion?
I don't need
You want to speak to your second?
Just the matter came before PDC. We didn't vote on it because it was a public hearing matter. And this is just to essentially provide what the agenda summary says, an easement so that the tower can be built on the property. I'm in favor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes. Okay, no more discussion? Cast your votes, please.
I initiate a vote for approval now.
Good.
Yours.
I did. I did.
Motion passes 7-0. All right, agenda item number 5. Continue a public hearing to receive citizen input regarding appointments or reappointments to vacancies that will exist June 30th, 2026 in school board districts 1, 2, and 3. State code dictates that in order to be considered for appointment, applicants' names must be read into the record, which I'll do now. For District 1, we have Shay Tinsley, Jack Schul, Asia Harris, Melanie Phelps, William Lewis, Brittany Smith, Liza DeJonto, Fallon Rose, Xavier Story, Greg Vincent Jr., Aaron Smith, and Patty Webb. In District 2, we have Letitia Lowry, Kathleen Riddle, Angela Cox, Nicole Albert, Toby Johnson, Tiffany Good, Roman Franklin. In District 3, you have Delisa Rogers, William Owsley II, Tiana Wilson, Tiersha Royal, and Ryan Thomas. For the public hearing, the floor will first be open to candidates who would like to speak at tonight's public hearing. Please state your name and school district for the record. Time will be limited to 3 minutes. Then the mayor will open the floor to any citizens present who would like to comment upon any name that has been submitted or offer additional names for consideration. Please state your name and locality of residence for the record. Mr. Mayor, I'll turn it over to you.
Welcome, everyone. The floor is now open for school board candidates. District 1. Ms. Tinsley.
Probably should line them up.
You like the startup line, I think that's fine for
Yes.
anybody. Yeah.
Line them up.
Yes, it's, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 in District 1. You could line up over here, Jack. Start over here. Mr. Shule. Mr. Shule is after Ms. Tinsley. Ms. Harris. Ms. Phelps. Mr. Lewis. Mr. Smith. Ms. Smith. Ms. Jagento. Ms. Rose. Ms. Story. Benson. And Smith. Ms. Tinsley.
Hello, my name is Shay Tinsley. I live in District 1, Ward 1. I am a behavioral health executive, a licensed psychotherapist. a mom, and of course, candidate for Lynchburg City School Board. I moved to Lynchburg as part of a career promotion. It was a big choice, just me and my daughter starting a new life as transplants, but with deep roots here. My father, a Marine and retired lieutenant in law enforcement, my uncles, aunt, cousins were all born and raised in Lynchburg. And I spent time here as a child visiting my grandfather on a farm that's been passed down through generations. So I was excited to buy a house here. And soon after I spoke to parents, realized that there was a major trade-off, not for myself, but for my 4-year-old daughter. Lynchburg schools are underperforming. The most recent SOL data shows that Lynchburg City Schools rank near the bottom statewide, 122nd out of Virginia's 131 school divisions. Now, I also believe in school choice, but if my only option to give my child a quality education is either private school or homeschool, it's not much of a choice. Choice becomes an illusion. I believe that parents are only empowered to make a choice when the fundamental markers of quality as it relates to education are ever present. This means every school, whether private or public, has well-trained teachers. Every classroom has access to resources and a curriculum that is designed to develop students into productive members of society. And I know everyone in this room agrees that we should offer our kids the best. We just need to be in alignment on how to get there. I also realize that the responsibility to educate belongs to the parents as well. So after work, I do my best to provide learning opportunities at home. So my daughter and I, we conduct science experiments. We have annual passes to Aqua Zoo and Amazement Square. When my daughter turned 1, we joined a 500-book literacy challenge. And just before her 2nd birthday, I took her on her first college tour at Harvard University. At the end of the trip, my friend, who's also a Harvard alum, took a picture of my child standing in front of the ceremonial Johnston Gate. And I hope to give my daughter a framed copy of this photo 14 years from now when we're moving her into her freshman dorm in Cambridge. And the idea is that this photo will symbolize not only where she started and how hard she's worked, but just how proud I am and how it is the honor of my life to be Fiona's mother. So I applied to serve on Lynchburg City School Board because my heart reflects the hearts of many parents in my community, which is this: my child is exceptional, and I just want the school system that's responsible for providing her an education to be exceptional as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Shua?
Good evening, Mayor Taylor, Vice Mayor Deemer, members of Lynchburg City Council. Thank you for this opportunity to speak with you about my interest in serving on the Lynchburg City School Board. I'm a 1976 graduate of EC Glass High School and the father of 3 children who also attended Lynchburg City Schools and graduated from EC Glass. Like all of you, I am deeply concerned about the state of the Lynchburg City Schools and the test scores of our students, which now ranks, as the previous speaker said, 122 out of 131 districts in Virginia. As Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, said of New York, we are in a competition with other localities to build a great city. And I believe excellent schools and successful students will make Lynchburg a winner. If I am selected to serve on the school board, I will work to implement the Mississippi method in our schools, whereby students must be able to read at the 3rd grade level or be retained. This program began in 2013 and took the state from 49th to 9th in reading scores. I would encourage our school board, our superintendent, principals, and other staff members to speak with administrators and educators in Mississippi to determine best practices and find out what did and did not work. There is no need to reinvent the wheel. We could hold public forums to elicit comments and concerns from parents and the community at large, and perhaps put forward a non-binding referendum. If I'm selected, I will also throw my support behind teachers and administrators. When a child is on school property, he or she becomes the responsibility of our staff and is unfair to require such responsibility without also granting authority to maintain discipline. I imagine teachers are trained and qualified to deal with unruly students, and they must be in charge of their classroom regardless of circumstances. The process is more important than the product, and parents must be encouraged to cede disciplinary decisions to school personnel. It's the only way to maintain order. Finally, Superintendent Dr. Somerville Midget was recently quoted in the news in advance about cell phones in classrooms and said, "The ban works as well as it is enforced." In my view, we should make enforcement easier on staff and ban cell phones from school property altogether. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Brother Jay. Please state your name.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. My name is Brittany Smith. I am a resident of Ward 1, a mother of 2 students currently attending Lynchburg City Schools, a licensed master barber, small business owner, community leader, and former nonprofit leader with Humankind, where I spent 8 years supporting at-risk families. I hold a bachelor's degree from North Carolina A&T State University, a master's degree in human services, health, and wellness from Liberty University, and I'm currently pursuing my master's degree in pastoral counseling. But most importantly, I stand before you as a parent. For nearly 13 years, my children have been educated within the Lynchburg City Schools, beginning in pre-kindergarten and now continuing through high school. I have experienced the school system not only through reports and statistics, but through parent-teacher conferences, school events, transportation concerns, academic successes, and everyday realities that families of our city face. My desires to serve on the school board comes from a simple belief that our schools are strongest when parents, educators, administrators, school board, city council, and the community are working together rather than operating in separate conversations. My desire is one, that I am passionate about strengthening communication and community engagement. I believe that trust grows when people feel heard, informed, and valued. If selected, I would work to help strengthen the connection between schools and families we serve, while helping ensure that community voices remain a part of the conversation. My professional experience has prepared me well for that responsibility. At Humankind, I serve as a training supervisor for the Healthy Families Program, and in an evidence-based initiative serving at-risk families. During a major organizational merger, I helped bridge the gap between long-tenured staff and new leadership, listening to concerns, facilitating communication, and helping people navigate change while honoring their experiences and contributions. That experience taught me that progress is most successful when people feel respected, heard, and included. As a barber, I have the unique privilege of hearing the heartbeat of Lynchburg every day. From behind the chair, I have watched children grow from elementary school students into high school students. And today, some of those same young people serve this city as professionals, business owners, and law enforcement professionals, and are now sending their own children into our school system. Every day I hear hopes, concerns, and aspirations for parents, educators, city employees, and community members. I don't simply work in Lynchburg. I have spent years listening to Lynchburg. I would be honored to bring that perspective, that listening ear, and that commitment to collaborate to the city school board. And my promise is to serve with integrity, humility, and focus on what's best for our students, our families, and the future of the city. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Please state your name.
My name is Xavier Story. I'm a resident of Ward 1 and District 1. Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, and members of council, thank you for your time and consideration this evening. My name is Xavier Story. I personally was not fortunate enough to have grown up in Lynchburg. I moved here later in life because I met a wonderful woman. And I like to say that I fell in love with Lynchburg for 2 different reasons. One with her, and then again with the city itself. I absolutely love living here, and I would very much honor any opportunity that I would have to serve this community in any capacity. I'm applying for the school board specifically because I believe in the transformative power of public education. I am a product of public schools, and because of the guidance and support that I received throughout my years in school, I became the first member of my family to receive a college education. And I believe that every single child in the Lynchburg City Public Schools deserves that same opportunity, the opportunity to have success due to the support of their teachers, their administrators, and their community. And I would very much appreciate the opportunity to serve in that capacity to bring those outcomes to our students. That process requires strong support of our students, our teachers, our families, and our administrators. And should I have the privilege of serving on the board, I pledge to be a tireless advocate for all of you. In terms of my personal qualifications for the position, I've worked in higher education and engagement for the entirety of my professional career. It's my job to ensure that students have a positive educational experience, and I believe that I can bring that energy and enthusiasm to the board. I've also served and have served on other local boards. Currently, I'm an associate director on the Robert E. Lee Soil and Water Conservation District, where I aid in the representation of the city of Lynchburg. I've also previously been a vice mayor and vice chair and an elected director of the Mountain Soil and Water Conservation District, and a member of the board of directors of the Allegheny Highlands Economic Development Corporation. So I believe that I have the experience working in local government that would lend me well to this role to advocate for our students and our families. Once again, thank you for your consideration and thank you for your time this evening. I hope to have the opportunity to, and I would be absolutely honored to serve in this role. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Board, District 2. Everybody for District 2, line behind Ms. Lowry, please. Ms. Lowry?
Hello. All right, I'm going to have to read this from my phone. All right, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. My name is Letitia Lowry, and I'm in District 2, a retired teacher of 31 years and a tutor. I'm applying to be on the school board for a second term. When I started this journey, I didn't realize how much work it was going to be and the time commitment required to do it well. But as I adjusted, I found myself engrossed with helping everyone from administrators, teachers, and staff, and especially students. I've made it a point to visit all schools throughout the school district on a monthly basis most months throughout the school years. I've served on several committees, both regular and ad hoc, and I've also worked with you. I am on the chair of the Academic Success Committee. I've chaired the Achievement Gap Committee, and I'm on the Governor's School Board and the Laurel School Board. I have come to enjoy not only being on the school board, but making a difference where I could and speaking to that effect. There's still much to do, especially since we have a new superintendent whose focus is the student and their education at the forefront. She is completing her first year with us. Plans are moving forward with the VDOE time plans, employment adjustments, and collaborations with business partners. And even though I've seen successes in the workforce initiative, educational support, and policy work, I know that we still have, let me see, how do I say this? So for years, we have had issues. And with this new superintendent, with her focus on education, which I absolutely love how she's doing this and the changes she's making, that we're able now, I can see in the future, to move where the lower score was mentioned before to getting that higher. And things take time, just like when you get in a debt, it takes time to get out of debt, almost twice as long. But this group is committed, this superintendent is committed, her staff is committed, and she has put people in place who are committed to this mission and this goal. So like I said, I've seen these successes. I hope that I would be able to continue to make LCS a place where everyone in our school and community may benefit and thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. Please state your name, please.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Vice Mayor and our esteemed City Council members. My name is Angela Payne Cox, and I am applying to be on the board. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to put my summary and that's it. I'm going to speak from my heart. I'm not a paper person. So for more than 40 years, I have been passionate and committed to building stronger children, stronger families, and stronger communities through service, advocacy, education, teaching, and empowerment. My lifelong mission is about empowering individuals to achieve academic success, personal growth, improve health outcomes, purposeful living through education, advocacy, and community engagement. For 40 years, I have worked in some form with children's and family. I started first with City of Lynchburg, and I was a youth worker at the Spark House. Then after that, I went to New Land Jobs. I was a job trainer, and my job was working with the underprivileged individuals in the community, those who were in poverty, those who were hard to hire. I taught life skill classes on how to speak, how to dress, how to show up for your interview, also how to get a job and how to keep a job. Also, I am a life coach, a certified life coach, as I may say. And I also work with families to teach them how to rise above where they are at. I don't believe in handouts, I believe in hand-ups. I also believe that we do have some serious issues with Lynchburg City Schools, but one thing about me, I'm a go-getter. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to help and work with the committee, the board, to do all that I can as an individual and as a team player to make sure that Lynchburg City Schools become successful. I know that we do have a lot of our children, I'm going to say this, a lot of our children come from poverty. They come from one family homes. We need men to rise up and to be mentors in the school to work with these children. But still, there's no excuse. All children can prosper. All children can go above where they started. They can still rise above their raising. That's what I'm going to say. Also, I work at the Community Access Network. I'm a community certified community health worker, and I work with those families who are in poverty, those who are uninsured. As I say, I work with the least of them. And so my job as a certified community health worker is to empower families, children, and the community.
Thank you.
My time up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, God bless you all.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council.
State your name, please.
Yep, well, I'm Dr. Toby Braden Johnson. I'm a parent of two LCS students entering grades 7 and 9 this fall. And I would have joined you at the last meeting, but it was scheduled against Dunbar's orchestra concert. So I hope you understand my priority being there for my son. Now, I'm currently a teacher at a local private day school, but have previously taught for LCS, Amherst County, and the University of Lynchburg. My family moved here in 2019, and our children's success in school, the great friends they've made, and the teachers supporting them have convinced us to ensure that they both graduate from LCS. And now I have the opportunity to step up in service of that goal. Now, you've got my CV, so I want to address the issues of the school board's threefold responsibility is how I envision it. First and foremost, it's a concern for the students of the district. LCS's mission says every child by name, by need to graduation beyond. Our kids deserve the best education that this community has to offer because they will go on to be the best that this community has to offer the world. We need to bolster programs that craft young minds into capable citizens, able to contribute to the modern world, but grounding that in the wisdom of history and the arts. We must not overlook those who need extra help and remediation, nor cut programs for our most advanced students in some distorted effort to standardize our classrooms. Each student deserves the lessons of their successes and failures. And each school needs to support those endeavors and offer ways forward. Which brings me to the second facet. which is to provide for the over 1,400 faculty, staff, and support personnel that craft that learning environment. How can our community expect the best educational outcomes if we don't provide the resources to make them possible? Every child by need is a weak boast if we can't even provide competent teachers and the resources and facilities to do so. Yet too many are willing to suggest that those same teachers are not up to the task and that city money should go elsewhere, neglecting our responsibility to the schools and its students. And that brings me to the third and final responsibility I look up to uphold with the school board, that of the city itself. Lynchburg's responsibility to make its schools the best it can be for the good of the children and the community. We cannot entice people to come to Lynchburg if we have nothing to offer. Failing schools aren't going to attract business investment. A poorly educated community isn't going to provide workers and services for our community needs. It doesn't matter whether they're your kids or not. We will all feel the impact of unsupported schools, staff, and students. And these are the issues I want to address as a member of the school board. I thank you for your time tonight, and I do hope you allow me the pleasure of serving our community in order to address these vital, common public concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council. My name is Roman Franklin. I'm in representation of Ward 2. I just want to say I bring a strong combination of educational experience, community leadership, and governance service that has prepared me to serve effectively on the school board. Over the course of my career, I have served 5 years as an instructional assistant, 2 years as a special education teacher, and 10 years as a youth minister. These experiences have allowed me to work closely with students, families, educators, and community members. Through that work, I have developed a deep understanding of the academic, social, emotional, and behavioral needs of our students, as well as strong commitment to helping every child succeed. In my time as an instructional assistant, I supported both teachers, students in the classroom by assisting with academic instruction, classroom management, and individualized learning needs. As a special education teacher, I expanded that work by developing and implementing IEPs, advocating for students with disabilities, using data-guided instruction, designing behavior intervention strategies, and collaborating with behavior teams. These experiences have given me a clear understanding of the real challenges schools face every day, as well as the importance of ensuring that every student has access to high-quality education. My commitment to service extends beyond the classroom. I currently work on the Community Advisory Committee appointed by you, the City Council, where I work alongside community leaders to address issues that impact families and the overall well-being of our community. I also serve on the Central Virginia Community College Board for Directors, appointed by you also, the Lynchburg City Council. In this role, I am involved in policy development, strategic planning, physical oversight, and institutional accountability. These experiences have strengthened my understanding of governance and reinforced the importance of responsible, transparent decision-making. Together, my educational background, leadership experience, and service on community boards have prepared me to think critically, evaluate complex issues, and make decisions that support long-term success. Finally, if I'm selected to serve on the school board, I will bring a collaborative leadership approach, a strong work ethic, and a commitment to excellence. I will serve as an advocate for students, a partner to educators, and a responsible steward of public resources. Most importantly, I'm committed to ensuring that every student has access to the opportunities and support they need to succeed in school and in life, while helping our division move forward with purpose, accountability, and vision. Thank you all.
Thank you.
My name is Jerry Carney. I'm a retired teacher. Last spring, in summer in July, I saw the scores that related to the Lynchburg City Schools. More recently, in a set that was revealed by Harvard and Stanford, there were other scores that compared us with from 2015 to 2025, and then from 2022 after the pandemic to the present. These scores are, I realize you're looking, I'm not a candidate, but.
That's what we was discussing. We figured that out.
But I have been I've been listening since those scores, and I think that perhaps I can hold up a lens to you in what the choices you're making, and perhaps to some of the candidates who are here. I wanted to, how do we address the scores and the challenges that are in front of us? I suggest three things. The first of these is intervene early and often. Clearly, beginning with early childhood education, with pre-K, K-2, a foundation can be put in that will start everyone in a better place. Secondly, there are points along the way that cry out for data. So 3rd grade, 6th grade, 9th grade, all of them are opportunities to reassess where we are and what has to be done in that direction with it. So the first is then to intervene early and often throughout this. I should add, we need to address the rampant absenteeism beginning in pre-K and continuing along the way that needs to be addressed. When 1/3 of the students in both of our great high schools are chronically absent, anyway, we need to address that as well. Secondly, it's going to cost, sorry about that, this is no free lunch for this. Salaries have to be improved to retain teachers, and the steps have to be made clearer so that they stay. Finally, last point, this is not a quick thing.
You ran out of time, sir. Yes, sir.
Sorry, thank you.
Now we move to District 3. Jeffrey Jones, Delisha Raja, William Owsley, Tanya Wilson, Tashisha Roy.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and City Council. I am Delisa Rogers. I'm a resident of District 3 and a Lynchburg City community member. I'm a graduate of the University of Virginia, where I earned both my bachelor's and master's degree in communication disorders and science, and I'm currently working on my PhD in education and curriculum leadership. I'm a parent in my spare time of 2 LCS children, a rising 10th grader and rising 11th grader. I'm a licensed nursing home administrator who formerly directed a 200-bed nursing home facility here in Lynchburg, Virginia, and I'm a licensed speech-language pathologist for over 15 years. I have experience serving both our geriatric population and our pediatric populations, both which include individuals and families across the lifespan in educational, healthcare, and home-based services. Throughout my career as an SLP, I've written extensive IEPs and spearheaded meetings with parents and educators advocating for academic resources and diagnosing receptive, expressive, and pragmatic language impairments in our children. I've worked closely with students, with parents, with educators, and recognized the strong support that's needed for our educators in order to ensure that our children reach their full potential. My interest in serving on the Lynchburg School Board comes from a genuine commitment to the children, families, and the future of our community. As a licensed speech-language pathologist in Lynchburg City Schools, I witness firsthand every day the needs of our students, the needs of our teachers, and the needs of our families, as well as the challenges that our educators face every day. I've recognized children that have had harder lifestyles, harder upbringings, and the perspective that I would bring to the school board is that of an educational educational promoter, a healthcare professional, an advocate, and a Lynchburg City community member. I understand the importance of listening to diverse viewpoints, making evidence-based decisions, and ensuring that resources are effectively used to support student achievement. I'm committed to transparency, to accountability, and keeping the well-being and success of our students at the center of all of our decisions. I'd be honored to serve the families, the students, and educators of Lynchburg and to contribute to a school system that fosters promoting academic excellence, opportunity, and support for every child. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of City Council. I'm Tiarisha Royal. I'm in Ward 3, and I appreciate the opportunity to address you this evening regarding the open seat on the Lynchburg City Council Board. As a passionate advocate for both our schools and committee, I'm compelled to apply for this position because I believe in the future of our schools, our students, and our community. Serving as the Ward 3 representative would be a tremendous honor. As a graduate of Lynchburg City Schools and a parent of children who currently attend Lynchburg City Schools, I believe I bring a valuable perspective and firsthand understanding of the needs, strengths, and challenges facing our school division. I currently work as an office administrator and nurse at a pain center, and I also am a youth director at my church. My extensive experience on various boards, combined with my strong community connections, make me a strong candidate for the school board. By combining my organizational expertise, collaborative approach, and commitment to open-minded decision-making, I'm poised to make a lasting impact as a board member. If selected, I'll prioritize the needs of students, teachers, and schools, guiding every decision with wisdom, integrity, and a steadfast dedication to the prosperity of Lynchburg City Schools. Thank you for your time, consideration, and dedicated service to our schools and community.
Thank you. The floor is now open to anyone else who would like to make a pitch for school board. The floor is now open to the public. You can come back if you want, sir, finish your statement.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
The last one was simply that it's going to be a long haul. This is not something that is going to be within the terms of counselors, 4 years, or the terms of school board members, 3 years. This has been happening over decades, and therefore a commitment over time to address these needs is most important. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Julie Gillum, and I'm honored to speak tonight in support of Shay Tinsley. I've spent more than 35 years working in education and educational leadership. I began my career as an elementary school teacher and later served as principal of 2 schools for over 15 years. And I then served as assistant superintendent of Prince Edward County Public Schools for several years, where I worked closely with school boards, administrators, teachers, families, and community members to address the complex issues facing public education. My professional experience also includes higher education. I directed the Center of Excellence in Teaching and Learning at Piedmont Community College and served as adjunct faculty for both the University of Virginia and for Piedmont Community College, helping to prepare future educators and leaders. Later, I transitioned into human resources leadership, serving as the Director of Human Resources at Piedmont Community College. Throughout these roles, I've gained extensive experience in governance, strategic planning, budgeting, personnel management, policy development, and organizational leadership. So, because of these experiences, I have a pretty clear understanding of what effective school board leadership looks like. School board members are responsible for decisions that affect student achievement, financial stewardship, employee recruitment and retention, school culture, and the long-term success of the entire community. The most effective board members are thoughtful, informed, collaborative, and committed to always putting students first. And those are the qualities I see in Shay Tinsley. Shay is someone who has a vested interest in and genuinely cares about the success of your students, our teachers, our schools, and she understands that strong schools are the foundation of a strong community. She listens very carefully and asks thoughtful questions and approaches challenges with a spirit of collaboration and also of respect. Most importantly, she's committed to making decisions that are in the best interest of students and that support educational excellence for all. At a time when schools face increasing challenges and opportunities, we need leaders who are willing to learn, listen, and work together to find solutions. We need leaders who value accountability, transparency, and responsible stewardship of our resources. I believe Shay Tinsley possesses those qualities and will serve our community with integrity, professionalism, and sound judgment. As someone who has dedicated a lifetime to education, I do not offer my support lightly. My experience has taught me the importance of strong leadership, and I am confident that Shay Tinsley has the character, commitment, and vision needed to be an outstanding board member. I respectfully encourage you to support Shay for school board.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on behalf of a candidate?
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
I'm Charmaine Davis, and I live at Temple Circle. I've been in Lynchburg a long time, born at Lynchburg General Hospital. So for me, I've homeschooled my kids for 5 years to make sure they had a good educational foundation before they became a public school student. Because as a parent, I just don't want to have my kids be dumb. You know, when I talk to them, I want them to be, well-versed and know about things and can also interact with other people. So education has been important to me in offering my kids robust education and also making sure that they're exposed to different people and different things about the world. So, and I noticed some people frown when I said the word dumb, but I don't mean that as an insult. I mean that as like, what are schools here for? To educate, to help people learn things. And it doesn't matter where you start. And because anyone can learn anything, even our cats can learn things. So, education is important. And I also like to say that my 7th child just graduated from Heritage High School. So that would be 7 Davises who's graduated from Heritage. And I would say something about the graduation was done on Sunday at 6 o'clock, so p.m. So I would like to change that, but that's a conversation for something else. But anyway, over my kids' school career, I've been a parent chaperone, I've been a parent volunteer, and also been a parent advisor. So, again, like I said, education is very important to me. And with Shay, I've worked alongside her, and I know her to be a woman who is a woman of her principles, and she has integrity, and she's fiercely intelligent, as you have heard her talk about her experience with her daughter, Fiona. And also, I think that she has honest compassion for people, and I've seen that in action. Also, with my experience as a mother in the Lynchburg school city system, I have deeply invested in the education of my children. And I see that same thing in Shay, in Dr. Shay Tinsley, that she is invested in people knowing things, and especially in her daughter knowing things. And I think that it is an honor for Lynchburg City to have someone who's like that, who, even though she didn't go through Lynchburg City Schools, I think it would be very advantageous for the Lynchburg City School system to have new blood here, new ideas, someone who's energetic like Shay is, someone who's curious about life just like Shay is. And she's also well-educated, and she has lots of connections that I think would be very beneficial for Lynchburg City Schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Angela Cox. I'm going to read back. I'm going to read back. Hey, Mayor Taylor.
How you doing, young man?
I'm doing fine, and you? How you doing, Miss Reed?
All is well.
Mr. Safari? Couple of you constituents. I haven't been here in a while, but I think Miss Angela Cox has an excellent idea for the school board. And she should be on the school board because we're getting tired of the same old ideals. We need to change the money system around, and we need to put it in place for the education, whether for mental education, whether for peer support education, because our kids in the city of Lynchburg is failing. And I know this for a fact, because I'm in the hoods. I come from the gulags to own a business, to back to Lynchburg in the hoods and clean them up myself. You know, I'm getting real excited about it because we need somebody to go back into these hoods in the daytime and bring out the education like when we used to be when we was in school, after school program. There's no more after school programs. So the kids don't have nothing to do. We need somebody that's like her to bring after school program. Go to James Crofton, you will see what it look like. Yeah, you will most definitely see what it look like, failing education and poverty. And then when you go to school, you have to you have to dress it up like a military compound where you have to worry about kids with guns coming in. And then you got all these electronic devices. Kids are scared when they come from a certain class struggle. You know, I come from a poor class. I don't care what they put in there. I want an education. Because Carla G. Wilson said education is the means between success and failure. You can either have an education or you're not. You know, we want our kids to have a good education, not to be here just getting the money and putting it in other places and rubbing each other backs with it. We need kids to be higher learning, coming out of EC class, and either coming out of Heritage or going in these alumni with scholarships. Peace. So I was too loud, excited.
Anyone else want to speak on behalf of themselves or anyone else? Okay. Is there a motion to close public hearing and begin selection of candidates? So moves. We got a one and got two. Want to speak to your motion?
We've had a great amount of candidates to select from. I appreciate all you volunteering your time. I think we have a good candidate selection to select for the next school board positions. Thank you.
Mr. Deemer?
Yeah, I just appreciate all the people who've put themselves forward. There is really no pay for doing what they're doing, so that's pretty significant sacrifice on their part. So thank you from my heart for your willingness. We got some great people.
Is there any more discussion? Please cast your votes, please.
Vote to close the public hearing. All right, the motion passes 7-0. Now, City Council, we do have a really quick turnaround with this. Interviews are scheduled to start, or should be scheduled to start on Thursday at 9 a.m. So I would ask that you all start your selection now. Mr. Mayor, if you want to do like roll call fashion, maybe.
Okay. Districts. By districts.
Okay.
Mr. Ferrari?
I would like to interview Dr. Shay Tinsley, Mr. Jack Schewel, Brittany Smith, Greg Vinson Jr. for District 1. And by the way, if I mention your name or don't mention a name, it doesn't mean someone else won't bring it up.
Are we going to do all the districts or just one at a time?
One at a time.
You got all mine, so we're good. Thank you.
All I'm going to add is it Xavier Story? Is that right?
Mr. Nation?
I'm going to add Mr. William Lewis.
Ms. Timmer?
Mine have already been mentioned. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Mr. Mr. Wilder, yours been mentioned. Mr. Dean.
All mine have already been mentioned, so I don't need to add.
Mr. Taylor. All mine has been mentioned too. Thank you. District 2. Mr. Ferrari.
Thank you, Ms. Lowry, Ms. Cox, and Ms. Good.
All right. I'd like to add Mr. Johnson and Mr. Franklin.
Mr. Missions.
Good, thank you.
Ms. Timmer.
Included, thank you.
Dr. Wilder.
Mine have been included.
Mr. Deemer.
Ditto. All good.
Mr. Taylor, also. District 3.
And just so you all know, for District 3, Jabari Jones mentioned in the first public hearing has pulled his application. Ryan Thomas has been added, so you will not see that particular update on your chart.
Okay. Ms. Ferrari, District 3.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson, Ms. Royal, and Mr. Thomas.
Ms. Reed.
Did you didn't say Ms. Rogers? No.
Sorry, could you repeat that? I didn't hear.
Yeah. Who did you say?
I said Ms. Wilson, Ms. Royal, and Mr. Thomas.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'd like to add Ms. Rogers. That's all.
Mr. Wilder.
They've all been mentioned. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Missions.
I did have one question about Ms. Rogers because it's showing that she's a current Lynchburg City Schools employee. And that's an eligibility issue, Mr. Friedman, and I wanted to ask that question while we're here.
So that has come up in the past, and I think it doesn't preclude the individual from participating in the process, but if they're a chosen candidate, they'll have to deal with the conflict.
So, and dealing with the conflict, and I just want to make sure it's clear, dealing with the conflict, if they're a chosen candidate, does that mean that they would no longer be able to serve as an employee of Lynchburg City?
That's correct, because it's a contract with their own agency.
Yeah. I'm good, thank you.
Ms. Timmer.
All of mine have been included, thank you.
Mr. Deemer.
All mine have been mentioned. Thank you.
Yes. Mine also. Thank you all.
Okay, so that's 15 candidates that I have. Happy to reiterate them now if you think that I should. So District 1, I have Shay Tinsley, Jack Schul, William Lewis, Brittany Smith, Xavier Story, Greg Vinson Jr. District 2, I have Letitia Lowry, Angela Cox, Toby Johnson, Tiffany Good, Roman Franklin. District 3, I have Delisa Rogers, Tiana Wilson, Tiersha Royal, and Ryan Thomas. Okay, we will need both days. So we'll do Thursday 9 to 1 and Friday 9 to 1. That's of this week. I'll reach out to candidates separately to schedule
Mr.
those.
Missions.
One other thing too, if we can confirm residency, because I've been looking up some of these candidates that mentioned and they're not even registered voters in Lynchburg. And we're interviewing people that appear to not be registered to vote in Lynchburg, and we need to make sure that we have proof that they are residents of the city of Lynchburg. If they're not residents of the city of Lynchburg, they should not be participating in this process.
Correct. So new last year, City Council implemented the residency requirement checks. So now that I know the list, candidates have been prepped. They'll be reaching out to them tomorrow to make those verification checks. Very quick turnaround time for that because Thursday morning will start.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Ms. Alicia.
All right, agenda item number 6. Consideration of adopting an ordinance increasing the water and stormwater rates. Tim Mitchell, Director of Water Resources, will provide a summary of the request.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. As you recall, City Council previously voted not to approve the proposed water and stormwater rate increases. At the May 26th work session, I presented an adjusted water and stormwater operating and capital budgets, including the capital projects that would need to be deferred. Then during the regular meeting that evening and discussions regarding the first reading of the FY 2027 water and stormwater operating budgets, City Council voted to hold a second public hearing for the water and stormwater rates. The proposed water rate increase would be from $3.45 to $3.62 per 100 cubic feet, generating an additional $441,800 in revenue to the water fund. The proposed stormwater rate would increase from $5.15 per single-family unit to $5.40 per single-family unit, generating an additional $196,100 in revenue to the stormwater fund. The combined impact to a typical residential customer is approximately $1.06 per month. The additional revenues would be utilized to fund our proposed FY 2027 water and stormwater operating and capital budgets if council so chooses. And as a reminder, City Council also voted to approve the reduced water and stormwater operating budgets during the first reading on May 26th, and council has adopted the reduced water and stormwater capital improvement program. I'll be glad to answer any questions upon the conclusion of the public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone like to speak in favor? Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition in the increase in water and stormwater rates? Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition? Are there any voicemail, Ms. Alicia?
There are none.
Public hearing is now closed. May I have a motion, please? May I have a motion to approve or disapprove?
I have a clarifying question. Can I ask that before we vote?
Mr. Mitchell?
Just, I just want to make sure I'm clear. I'm sorry. So during that last session, we got a little confused there, but motion, I'm so sorry. What is the rate you're recommending now?
The rate that I'm recommending now is for the water fund, increasing the current rate, which is $3.45 per 100 cubic feet to $3.62 per 100 cubic feet. And for the stormwater, it's $5.15 per single family unit currently, and proposing to increase that to $5.40 per single family unit.
So with that increase, will we be able to do the items that we needed to do? Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
So if we do the 362 and the 540, whatever, so we'll be able to meet the needs for our water system.
Correct.
Okay. I'll move approval.
Can I ask a clarifying question real quick?
Yes.
What was the total average bill increase you said again?
The average bill increase for a typical household is $1.06 per month.
$1.06?
$1.06 per month, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Roughly $12 a year. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Need a motion?
So I said, move for approval.
Second.
You want to speak to you?
No, he's already clarified everything.
You good?
Just real quick, when I ran on trying to deal with some of the crumbling infrastructure needs of the city. We are an older city and we have some real issues we're trying to deal with. It's not going to be fixed overnight, but there's nothing more important in my mind than providing water. Try to get through a day or two, or after 3 days, you're pretty much done. I know how water is important. So I saw what happened in Richmond. I know we've got some serious issues that we're trying to deal with. And since it is an individual self-supporting fund, I'm absolutely in favor of paying what it takes to keep our water flowing. Thank you.
Ms. Timmer?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Dr. Wilder and Vice Mayor Deemer. I will be supporting the rate increase tonight. A couple kind of background things. I believe we're the second oldest municipality with running water in the U.S. after Philadelphia. Second oldest publicly owned water resources, plumbing, yes, after Philadelphia. So we have a lot of old infrastructure and there's a lot of diligent work to turn that over, replace that on a long-term schedule. And I appreciate the diligence It was one of my favorite tours because there was so much specificity, and I still have one of the charts that was on a big sticky chart of the schedule for like the next 5 years of replacements that have been pre-scheduled. This has been a confusing topic in some ways, and Dr. Wilder alluded to that because the first reading of the budget, we did not approve the rate increase in that public hearing. As such, we had two options presented to us. In the last meeting, we decided to revert back to the rate increase, which required another public hearing. So that's why we have the second public hearing happening tonight. And so that'll be explained as we go through the various motions under general business and why that shift has occurred. I am also supporting it because of the nature of the enterprise fund. This is separate from the general fund that goes to the main aspect of the operations budget. I have concerns about some of those allocations, but I will be supporting this in the nature of the enterprise fund and its independence there. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mitchell.
I'll be opposing this. It's not because of the water issue, it's because of the stormwater rate. And quite frankly, I think it's ridiculous that you have to pay for stormwater. So I'll be opposing the motion because I don't agree with paying for rainwater that rains on your property. I think that's ridiculous.
Anyone else for discussion? Cast your votes. Oh, Mr. Ferrari.
Mr. Mitchell.
Yes, sir.
Walk us through which items are increasing again, please.
I'm sorry.
Walk us through which items are increasing again, please.
So the water fund operating budget will increase, which includes the debt service, and that will fund the, if council so chooses, we'll have to come back and amend the FY 2027 capital budget to include the projects that we reduced. And same thing with stormwater. It would include the stormwater capital projects that we deferred previously.
Thank you. All good.
Any more discussion? Cast your vote on passage.
Initiating that vote now. Motion passes 5-2.
Thank you.
All right, the next section is public comment. Speakers have 3 minutes to speak. If you're speaking for a group, you have 5. City Council listens to your comments and may ask the city manager to follow up. Citizens often express differing opinions. To make sure everyone feels comfortable speaking, there's no applause, cheers, or jeers. Do not intimidate, insult, or disrupt others. Do not use profanity, promote businesses, or campaign for office. Agenda item number 7, hear from a group representative regarding corporate influence in local election. Tyler Lewis, the People's Reclamation. All right, not seeing Tyler. Moving on to agenda item number 8.
Ms. Alicia.
If council would so choose, if we can vote to amend it by consensus. There's a pastor from a downtown church that didn't understand the public comment process tonight, that wanted to come speak about the Fatherhood Proclamation initiative. Didn't get an opportunity to sign up. He did ask me at the beginning of the meeting, so I'd like to amend the agenda to add Mr. Rich Brown to the end to speak about the Fatherhood Proclamation, if council's willing to do that.
Yes.
That'd be okay.
Thank you.
Rich Brown, you said?
Rich Brown, yes.
Thank you.
And he's on behalf of Downtown Presbyterian, is that correct? Okay. She'll call you at the end.
She'll call you
I'll
at
call
the
you at
end.
the end.
All right, agenda item number 8, hear from a citizen regarding upholding transparency, the Liberty University growth numbers issue. Andrea Salas. Not seeing any movement. Agenda item number 9. Hear from a group representative regarding loitering and parking, Melanie Traper, representing Trading Post by Traper Ranch and Lone Star Market Cafe. Please restate your name, group represented, and locality of residence.
Hi, I'm Melanie Traber for the Trading Post. The second was for a second business. They said that it had to be combined or done at a later date. So I'm going to do the parking and Lone Star at the next meeting. So this is just about the loitering, and it's on behalf of Trading Post. So I am downtown, just for anyone who doesn't know. We have a 16,000 square foot building, and we have a restaurant and a bar nightclub kind of atmosphere. Thursday nights we do line dancing. Friday and Saturday we have live music and we have DJs, and we rent out the space some. We have had an issue with loitering. There is a problem in Lynchburg, just like in every other city. It's crime. And the problems in Lynchburg are the same as other cities face, and the solutions are the same as in most other cities. I'm downtown. We also have 5 other businesses that we are opening and have opened. So we've invested a lot of money downtown, probably more as far as business-wise than anyone else downtown. We've employed over 20 people just at this business alone. So we have had problems at night with people loitering. This started a year ago when there was a fight that happened downtown after we closed on another street at another business. The following Monday, I was called by ABC and by the police. I was asked to come to a meeting. I came to a meeting and I spoke with Lieutenant Tucker was there along with my ABC agent. I was asked what I needed, what could help us at our business, and I've asked for police presence with loitering. Inside my building, I'm responsible, and we have very little problems. I spend a lot of money. We have 3 metal detectors for people to walk through. I hire 4 to 6 police, not police, but security guards inside to make sure everybody's safe, everything's orderly. I have ID scanners that take their ID, put it through, and I can even tap into the DPS, or not DPS, but DMV. So we can block people from coming in. If they're a problem, they won't come back into our place. So we spend about $3,000 a weekend to make sure that our place is a safe, good environment for people to come to. It doesn't mean that there's never a fight. Of course there are. Girls are girls, and that's usually where the problem happens. But outside of the Trading Post, when people leave at night, we are not responsible. I am not responsible for parking lots on Commerce Street. I'm not responsible for the parking lot across the street. And I'm not responsible for the street or the sidewalks down Main Street and Commerce Street. I do everything I can inside. I walk, and right back here is a group of my bartenders and my kids that work there. They're there till 2 in the morning. If we're able to keep the inside safe and keep people happy and coming back, we have a very diverse crowd. We have all colors, we have all ages and all demographics, all money, and they get along inside. So I need help from the police to stop the loitering. We don't allow entry after 1 a.m. So on the 1300 block, the 1200 block, after about 1:15, there's no reason for anyone to be walking up and down the sidewalk unless they're going across the street to the apartments or standing outside, smoking joints, smoking cigarettes, hanging out. Because what happens is when we let out, and I've been told, well, you have a crowd. I have a successful business. The Academy has a successful business. When they let out, they have a crowd. That's what we have. If a crowd comes out and you've got a crowd on the street, a crowd on the sidewalk, what's going to happen? They're going to stand around, they're going to talk, they're going to carry on, and they're going to make a block party. Every weekend night, the police are standing across the street watching this. I don't need them across the street. I need them walking the sidewalks, just like I do. From the time we open till 2 a.m., I am walking my bar nonstop. People think I'm just picking up trash. Why don't you hire somebody to do that? I'm there. So if I see somebody getting a little bit out of hand, I can say, hey, let's have a good night. You know, we don't do that in here. Either call it a night or move on or have fun. But it stops things when you're walking around. When you're standing there, it doesn't deter anything. It just causes problems. I've been told by Lieutenant Tucker a year ago that I needed to close my business earlier. I needed to close at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in that meeting. And I told him I cannot do that. I would have to close my business. I would not make enough money.
30 seconds.
The big thing is here recently, I've had a detective Owen and then a detective, I believe his name's Gavin, have gone into the businesses on Main Street and have told the other businesses that I am the reason for any crime downtown and that it will not stop until I am closed. And that's what they're trying to do. I was personally told by Gavin that yes, all the crime does come from my business. They have gone to other businesses and asked to put cameras up that they could have access to in order to watch the trading post. They have slandered me in an attempt to coerce other businesses to put police cameras that they have access to, but they have access to my cameras at any time they ask me to go look, and they never do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 10, hear from a citizen regarding the Firehouse primary. Jeff Rosner. Please restate your name and locality of residence.
Jeff Rosner, Lynchburg. The Attorney General is investigating the Firehouse primary. There are 3 Republican Party appeals. So the Firehouse primary may be thrown out. Virginia law requires that active duty military and some others can participate in a nomination process that they cannot attend. The Republican committee provided absentee ballots, but there are problems. First, the committee only contacted voters on the permanent absentee list about absentee ballots. So it did not contact voters who requested an absentee ballot for state-run primaries, but are not on the permanent list. Second, absentee ballots had ranked choice voting, then were counted based on plurality voting. So absentee voters did not participate the way that they had intended. Third, the law requires that those absentee voters participate under the party's rules, but they did not. The committee ignored one of its own rules, which says if ranked choice voting is included in a call, it must be used. The March 31st call for the Firehouse primary included ranked choice voting. On May 19th, the committee voted not to use it. Also, former Attorney General Miaris found that the practical effect of a Firehouse primary would be to exclude military voters. That is one of the issues current Attorney General Jay Jones will review based on his letter to the Republican committee. The law that applies is Code of Virginia 24.2-509. The rule that was ignored is Article 8, Section P in the Republican Party plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 11, hear from a citizen regarding setting good examples. Pat O'Hara.
Hey, good evening. Pat O'Hara back again. I'm going to be moving from Ward 4 to Ward 1 soon. I just wanted you guys to know that. Thank you for permitting me the sorry, Chris. Thank you for permitting me the opportunity to speak. My comment tonight is my personal opinion and does not reflect at all Indivisible Lynchburg or the Indivisible movement. Since another Lynchburg resident has been permitted to deliver many spiritual messages during public comment, I've chosen to do so as well tonight. This may be a little uncomfortable to hear, but I hope that some of you find conviction by the Holy Spirit. The early Christian church in Ephesus contained converts mainly from two very different backgrounds. Factions formed within the community, and when factions form, conflict is born. In Ephesians 4:29, the Apostle Paul wrote to them, "Let no unwholesome word come out of your mouth, but if there's any good word for edification according to the need of the moment, say that, so that it will give grace to those who hear." Unwholesome comes from the Greek word sapros, which means rotten or putrid, and edification comes from the word oikodome, which refers to construction or building up a person. In Paul's eyes, to tear down any person is truly revolting. So Paul called the Ephesians and consequently all believers to focus on encouraging people rather than subjecting them to verbal abuse, because the former is how we channel grace. We must focus on bipartisan solutions. We must seek opportunities for cohesion, and we need to work toward the greater good. Decades before that, Jesus told Pharisees in Matthew 12:25 that every kingdom divided against itself is laid waste, and no city or house divided against itself will stand. So when I reflect on my 17 years in Lynchburg, I see how our quality of life has been influenced by the examples of city leadership, for better or for worse. Your words and actions carry consequences for everyone. As a matter of fact, Jesus told his most trusted followers that from everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded, and to whom they entrusted much, of him they will ask all the more. If God has truly imbued the members of this council with authority, then each of you has the highest expectations of anyone in this city to control your tongues. Remember when Jesus declared to the masses in Matthew 7:16 that grapes are not gathered from thorn bushes, and he also said, "You will know them by their fruits." So when persons on this dais have used their authority to slander their fellow citizens in person or on social media, that's not been a mistake nor an accident. And in the spirit of Paul, I'm telling you that kindness can help save a person's soul. And mutual kindness is what it will take to save this city. Reflect on these things.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 12, hear from a group representative regarding the role for voter accountability. Mitch Richards, for the love of the city. Please restate your name, group represented, and locality of residence.
All right, my name is Mitch Richards. I'm in Ward 1 now. Hey. Yeah, I'm over there now. Welcome. Typically, when I come up here, I've been up here, I think this would be my third time. I usually just speak on things that maybe I've had in general conversations with different city leaders, personal friends, but I never really speak to the core of the things that really mean a lot to me. For the love of the city, it really represents not only returning citizens, but the youth. But not only just the youth, right? The youth who are constantly overlooked. Even when I was preparing this, I said, you know what? Let's keep it kind of light, because you have the vernacular to get it across. Then today I went to work. One of my white counterparts, one of my coworkers, he saw, or he thought, one of the Latino guys took something from him, right? So he tracks it down, The guy apologized, was like, man, look, they identical. And they were identical. So he was like, yeah, whatever. Threw his battery on the ground and said, yo, wetback, take you back across the border. And then that's when I realized, right? God was speaking to me in that moment. Because when I get an opportunity to speak, I don't touch on the issues that our communities are constantly talking about. When the young Black people tell me, look, my voice don't count, I'm not coming to city council, I'm gonna let you do it, and I'm not voting. And I ask them why. And then they say, man, look, man, white folks got all the power. So I said, what do you mean? They said, when you go up there to speak, they are on a pedestal. When you go to the school board meeting, they're like the city. These people are down here and they giving me an opportunity to speak. But when I come up to city council, and this is what they are viewing and conveying to me, and it's shocking. Until I realized, no, I had just decided that I was gonna be reasonable in my approach to situations, when in all actuality, I got a whole generation of people, not just to fight for, but to lead. It's my time. So I'm gonna lead them. And we got something really, really important coming up. The Activating Young Voters campaign, where I'm gonna start bringing young voters in here. And I'm gonna start holding people accountable according to their wards, and even if you're at large. Because they need to know where the power lies. And one thing that I know historically, right? The Black vote is the what? The swing vote. When Black people come out, things really change. So it's time for that to start happening. And it's time for me to start leading those efforts, because if I don't, I can't hold anybody accountable. I have to teach these young people that their voice, no matter what the Supreme Court says, no matter what they feel like the president is saying, their voice will never be silenced. They will always have the opportunity to speak. They vote will count, but the only way that's going to happen is by organizing them. So we're about to get organized. You're familiar with real estate, Mr. Ferrari, but we got a term, it's called bird dogging. And bird dogging in real estate is really good for people, especially people like me. I don't have a license, but I can still benefit. But bird dogging on the organizing side ain't really the best. It's like you pop up when somebody's having a dinner or a lunch with an important person because you've been calling their office or you've been calling people that work for them, and they're ignoring you, right? So these are the things that got to start happening in order to make the people feel like they're being heard. We must be heard, and we must be heard now. But the only way that's going to happen is if we start speaking. So don't be surprised when I start bringing young voters in here, when I start bringing more people in here, because there's a whole city. And if we're not taking care of every single person in this city, there ain't no need for anybody to fill them seats. We might as well just do it ground. We might as well just put all boots on the ground, including yours. Thank you.
Agenda item number 13, hear from a citizen regarding public service of Councilmember Mischins. Phil Stump. Please restate your name and locality of residence.
My name is Phil Stump. I would like to talk to you tonight about the public service of Councilmember Mischins. While employed as a firefighter for the city, Mr. Mischins repeatedly and publicly disparaged different demographic groups within the community. He denigrated transgender individuals, even suggesting that they were sexual predators and posting transphobic images on his personal website. He also demeaned Black citizens by calling Black Lives Matter supporters lazy and stupid and opportunist thugs. This is unacceptable behavior for a person whose job it is to serve the community. The transgender people I know are very kind people who would not harm anyone. Imagine your transgender friend or child needing emergency service knowing that the firefighter who might arrive hates transgender people. Imagine the hostile environment created in the fire department for women and people of color and the negative effects of this on recruitment. My son is a firefighter in Cleveland, and when I told him about Mr. Mischun's behavior, he was aghast. What irony that Mr. Mischun's was employed by a fire department that had been built by an outstanding and inclusive Black fire chief, Elder Anderson. Mr. Mischun's was required to leave the fire department because of his unacceptable behavior. Then he compounded this behavior by suing the city of Lynchburg for over $400,000. His lawsuits have been rightfully rebuffed by the courts, but the cost to the city of fighting these lawsuits has been considerable. And then Mr. Mischun's had the temerity to run for city council and is now running again for this office. His public behavior does not represent our city well and should be offensive to all our citizens. Our elected officials are bound to serve all our citizens impartially, and Mr. Mischun's has made a mockery of such honorable service. He has been a highly divisive presence on the city council and has spoken with great disrespect to Council Member Stephanie Reed when she has attempted to guide the council to work harmoniously. I would here contrast the behavior of Council Members Larry Taylor and Sterling Wilder, who have spent much of their own time and money building this community without regard to race or gender, and who have been forces for unity and harmonious action in the City Council. Why does the city tolerate Mr. Mischun's actions, which are a travesty of public service? It has been said that people get the government they deserve. Lynchburg deserves better. Thank you.
All right, no clapping, no clapping.
All right, this is our item not on the agenda. Hear from a group representative regarding Fatherhood Proclamation. Rich Brown, Downtown Presbyterian. Please restate your name, group representative, locality residents.
Got it, yeah. Yeah, good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. My name is Rich Brown. I serve as the pastor of Downtown Presbyterian. We're a young church plant right around the corner from right here on Main Street, actually. And I actually am a resident in Ward 2, right here in downtown as well. Today I'm here with a simple but powerful idea. I want to actually encourage us to designate June, the month of June, as Responsible Fatherhood Month here in our city. Kids need dads. And when fathers show up, kids thrive. But when dads are missing from the picture, kids, of course, face tougher roads, each one of them. The numbers for us tell a heartbreaking story, though. The U.S. Census has recently reported that 1 in 4 American children live without a biological step or even adoptive father in their own home. This crisis affects communities in every state across America. And I even just learned today that that number of fatherless homes for children is here in our city up to 42%. The impact then is, of course, devastating. Children without fathers are more likely to live in poverty. They're more likely to drop out of school, even experience teenage pregnancy, and be even incarcerated. The United States then has the highest rate of single-parent households in the world, more than 3 times the global average. Moreover, father absence is indeed rising, driven in part by the fact that approximately 40% of U.S. births now happen outside of marriage. But here's the good news about what's going on when involved fathers are actually involved in their own kids' lives. Involved fathers lead the way. Kids with engaged dads are even more likely to excel in school, face a lower risk of ending up behind bars, and are less likely to suffer from mood disorders such as anxiety and depression, which are also on the rise. What's more, though, prioritizing responsible fatherhood could actually save taxpayers billions of dollars each year in related social and economic costs associated with the poverty caused by fatherlessness. Therefore, strengthening the role of fathers is not simply good for our families, but also for a fiscally sound strategy for our own city, I believe. However, we can change this. By declaring June as Responsible Fatherhood Month, we will celebrate responsible fathers, raise awareness of fatherhood's vital role in our community, and strengthen our own families, and of course, the city of Lynchburg here. So let's commit to what brings stability: involved dads, healthy homes, lasting impact. Let's encourage a society where fatherhood is actually embraced, where children are supported, and where families stay rooted together. After all, our children and our future deserve nothing less. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to actually make a motion to have a presentation from staff in our next work session related to the public comment that came from, I think it was Ms. Traber regarding the trading post. Because when I'm looking here at the city code, there's a section in our ordinance. It's actually the first thing in offenses called obstructing free passage that discusses this loitering. And I'd like to get a presentation from staff in our next work session on what we can do to make sure that we're actually enforcing that there, because it looks to me when I look at this offense that what's happening outside that facility probably is something that will be covered by this. So I'd like to get a presentation on that and see what we can do to try to help out.
Get the chief here to talk through that.
In our next work session. So I'll make that as a motion to get that presentation in our next work session.
I'll second.
We got 2 seconds.
Mayor, could I make one comment before
Yes.
council discusses the matter? I did hear what the citizen had said, and I had anticipated this might come up as a motion for a later presentation. Before the issue comes back to council, could the manager and I have a little bit of time to work with LPD
Yeah, do that.
and the business owner? These matters happen. You know, I do want to get my head around the ABC issues and some of the other stuff that's going on before it comes back for a presentation. Would that be okay?
So I'm willing to amend that to the first meeting in July, which should give you about a month to figure that out. I think that's ample time. I've seen the video of one of these incidents that was just sent to me recently. And there was a young man who had a life-altering injury. And it was put out there for everybody to see on the internet. His life will never be the same from the head injury he got. And if there are crimes being committed when it relates to obstructing free passage, loitering, things of that nature, that we have a tool to enforce and we are just standing by and not enforcing it, that's a problem. We need to make sure we're enforcing that. So when people's lives are changed forever from the injuries that they're receiving, we need to stand up and protect them. That's what these guys want to do. That's what they sign up for. So we need to make sure that they have the tools and the ability and the permission from the top to enforce the code and the laws of this city to protect our citizens. That's the heart of this motion. I'm willing to extend it to the first meeting in July if that's ample. I think that should be ample time. Or do you accept that amendment?
Yeah.
Thank you.
The chief got the video too. I mean, he got it, and I'm very much aware of what happened downtown. Miss Traver let me know all the time.
I'd like to get a presentation on what we can do to make sure we're cracking down on that.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to make a substitute motion. I totally agree that we need to make sure we're enforcing things properly, but it sounds like there's a lot more to the story that I think needs to be brought together before we get a presentation. So I'd like to make a substitute motion, that when all the information is gathered, rather than giving a time constraint, that it be brought back to council at the leisure of the staff when everybody's gotten everything put together, rather than the first Tuesday and the first meeting in July, let's say within the next 90 days, if that gives you more time to put everything together and get the information that's needed, rather than try to rush this through if there needs to be more time. So I would just make a substitute motion that within 90 days, we have a presentation back, if that's possible. That would be my substitute motion.
Mr. Manager, how much time you need to?
We too, Mr. Mayor, you've contacted me. I've spoken to the Travers. City staff have worked with the Travers.
Yes.
Our police chief is aware of what's happened. For a comprehensive look at this, I'm sure we could, within the period requested to the first Tuesday in July, have maybe an initial review, but then it may be a more substantive understanding of what the implementation would happen in the 90 days. So it's really up to council. I can't put a time frame on it. It really is up to council as to what they want, when they want it. So
Mr. Freeman?
I would prefer 90 days. I would like to reach out to LPD, see who the contacts have been, try to get up with ABC to get a whole picture on it.
I would concur with him as far as if ABC is involved. I know that the last time when we worked with a couple of businesses that were on Main Street, I think you remember what they were and some of the problems that were with it. The state organization was one of those that obviously we have no purvey over. And so a big component of that is the state ABC component. So that that's in my opinion would request a longer period of time.
It doesn't have to be, I mean, if you guys have it ready before then put it on the agenda. I just think within 90 days, that way it gives you time to do your due diligence so that when you bring it back, we have all the components. It's just my substitute motion.
Mind you, it's getting hotter every day.
Hotter, did you say, sir?
Hotter.
Yes, sir.
Every day.
Yes, sir.
The hotter it get, the more violence. So we need to, if we can speed it up a little bit, it'll be good.
Yes, sir.
But I have to have, there's no second on my motion so far, or substitute motion, so that dies then.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, I agree with you. I think they said that they can bring us something substantive back within a month. And if they need to bring us more or they need to get more, they can tell us in that first meeting in July. I think it would be great to have an update that by the first meeting in July, because I agree with you. It is the summer and we want to try to get some awareness on this now because it's only going to get worse through July and August.
Yes, but we can keep it moving. We don't have to have everything at once. Yes. Can we do that method? Yes, sir.
Then I'll withdraw my substitute.
Okay. Call for vote.
Initiate.
Mr. Ferrari?
Mayor, I'll be opposing this for the simple fact you don't get to throw our police and attack them, go after them, saying they're doing a crappy job, and then ask for more help. She had me until the last 30 seconds. So I think the staff should look into this. They should get a handle on it. They should address the loitering. But I take it as a defense to our law enforcement that that's how this was handled. This could have been done a little bit better, in my opinion. So I won't grace it with my support in a motion. Thank you.
Okay, let's
All
vote.
right. Initiating the vote for a staff presentation at the first July work session regarding this.
Not working.
There we go. The motion passes 6-1. All right, moving on to general business. This next section is general business. It includes new items for discussion. This is a second reading. Let me just get my computer. This is consideration of ratifying the adoption of ordinance 026045, adopting and appropriating the FY 2027 discretionary external service providers budget. This does require a 5 of 7 vote.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Can I ask a question? Are we going to do this separately for C and D, or is you guys combining
Yes,
it?
it's just C.
Okay, just C. Thank you.
Any more discussion? Let's vote, please.
Initiating the vote now.
Whole screen went blank.
Yeah, the whole screen went.
Mr. Mayor, would you like to cast yours verbally?
You can just tell her.
Okay.
Verbally. Yes.
For yours, okay. That concludes it. The motion passes 7-0. All right, this again is a second reading, consideration of adopting ordinance 026046B, appropriating the FY 2027 operating fund budgets for water fund and stormwater fund.
Yes.
This is the first proposed in light of the rate increases, correct?
That's my understanding.
Okay.
So the ordinance before you is one that is the reduced operating budgets based upon not approving the rate increases. I think Alicia has an alternative resolution amending the budgets back to what was originally proposed.
Then I would like to make a motion to the amended resolution that moves the operating budget back to the originally proposed in light of the rate increases as a result of tonight's public hearing. And that is my motion.
Second.
And this would be the first reading of that, not the second reading. Will it still be considered the second reading because of the first reading that was, okay, because
It's
it's
the
amended?
second reading.
Okay, cool. Then it's the second reading, but that's my motion, and I believe Vice Mayor Deemer seconded.
You want to speak to your motion?
I think we've beat this dead horse as much as we can tonight, so I'll be voting in favor, and thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Deemer?
Yeah, I think council has pretty good consensus on this already with what we've done, and it makes total sense. So that's why I seconded it.
Any more discussion? Let's vote, please.
All right, initiating the vote now
Vote for approval.
for approval. Councilor Missions, does yours go through? Yes, yes.
Says he's already voted.
Okay, well, it did not go through. Would you like to cast yours verbally? Yes. Thank you. That was yes for approval. Thank you. The motion passes 7-0. All right, agenda item number 15, consideration of adopting an ordinance ratifying the sale and disposal of 805 Court Street. This requires a 6 of 7 vote.
I defer to the chair of that committee, Ms. Timmer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This item has come before PDC at least twice, maybe 3 times now. It has to pass with a 4/5 vote in order to meet legal requirements. It has not because it has been in the consent agenda twice, and there was split votes in the consent agenda. As passed PDC unanimously all of those times. I believe it has passed us unanimously all of the times except for the consent agenda. And with that, I would just make one personal request that items that require a 4/5 vote are not included in the consent agenda moving forward. But with that, I would love to make a motion to approve the ratifying and the sale and disposal of 805 Court Street. Thank you, Mr.
Second, please.
And don't need it, sorry,
Don't need
as
a second.
PDC chair.
Okay.
Recommendation.
Let's vote.
All right, initiating the vote for approval now. Motion passes 7-0. Agenda item number 16, consideration of adopting an ordinance amending section 36-175 of Article, oh gosh, is that 4? Of Chapter 36 of the City Code to ensure continued real estate tax relief for qualifying elderly and disabled persons in the city. This item was discussed during the Finance Committee meeting on May 26th.
Ms. Reed?
Yes. I don't know if
Mr.
Russell wants
Knuckles?
to come up here, since you're here, and brief us on it, but we
Be more than happy
voted,
to.
we voted on this in finance, right? Yeah, it
26,
passed
yes.
unanimously. But go ahead and.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, I'm here today to recommend that City Council remove the income cap that we currently have on the real estate tax relief for the elderly and disabled program. In 2021, Council adopted an ordinance that allowed us to increase the income by the rate of increase in the Social Security. So that was 2021, and Council capped it at 50,000. This year, when we do the increase in Social Security income, we're going to exceed the cap. It'll go to 50,200. And what I'm asking is that we still have the increase done based on the increase in Social Security, but eliminate the cap, the $50,000 cap. And I'll be glad to answer any questions.
So I'm going to make the motion as the chair of finance to approve this. And can I speak to my motion before we open up for discussion?
Yes.
So we approved it, obviously, and this is something I've spoken on, as you know, several years. I've wanted us to expand the parameters of this program, particularly. And it hasn't happened, but I'm glad that we're at least opening this up for this purpose of the fact that, Social Security is increasing, which is wonderful for those who have that benefit, as long as we have it. But I do want to share with the public why it's important that people, first of all, I've spoken to a lot of our citizens over the last month or so who still aren't aware that we have this program, or just barely don't qualify for different reasons, or now are qualifying it because their assets now fall under the cap where maybe they didn't before. And so we're going to be helping some people that you and I talked about that will now be able to have this relief. And then there's some people who are in homes that combined their retirement income are just slightly above. Like I met a man who he and his wife together, their retirement income is $54,000. So they're just barely outside of this and then fall under the threshold of the assets, but just don't, just barely qualify, don't qualify for this. So, as the council and future councils look forward to in the future, for future budgets, our senior citizens, our seniors who are on fixed incomes are the ones that we've seen every year come to this podium and beg us for relief. That is the most vulnerable community we have because they're not getting more income. They've served their best years. They've given the best years of their lives to their jobs, and they've earned their retirement or they've earned their Social Security, and it's not increasing with inflation. And so we've heard them being worried about being taxed out of their homes. We've heard them worry about all the things that they can't afford to do. And so those that do qualify for this program, I think it's wonderful that we have it. We need to make sure people are aware of it. And I know that you do the best you can, sir. And then of course it's also for disabled persons in the city. But I think this is definitely one that we should look at. And again, future councils should consider expanding. I think this is a way to start, obviously, but maybe it would be one that would not debilitate the city by just expanding this particular one. And it would help a lot of people. But I know that we talked about being, in order to expand it, we have to put money into it. So it doesn't just, but I think it's one worth considering. So, but thank you.
Well, and sort of to your point, before we went to allowing for the increase in Social Security to increase the income limit, we were losing 15 to 20 families a year because just the increase in Social Security bumped them over the limit.
Right. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the people watching at home right now, just to understand what kind of tax relief we're talking about, can you put some numbers on it and a reality of how this would impact Social Security recipients?
Well, it's about 650 parcels, and it's about 575 families that actually receive the real estate tax relief on their real estate.
How much?
And the city budget, currently it's budgeted at $675,000 is what's budgeted for the program.
If you're combined, if I may, your combined retirement income will now be what, $50,000 or less for household.
50,200 if we adopt this.
or less. So total for the household. and your assets don't exceed, so excluding your home, your assets don't exceed $100,000.
And that's a very important point, not including the home.
Not including the home. So like
you
I met a
reside in.
woman the other week who she did not qualify a few years ago because her investment, her IRA or whatever, had over $100,000 in it. Now it's 60 something thousand.
Right.
So now she's going to qualify and she's very excited. And she's called me and said, when am I getting my letter from Mr. Knuckles? Because she qualifies and she needs that relief. And so, but that's where we need to track because people don't know. And so,
And we encourage everybody, even if you don't qualify, continue to apply, because those situations are exactly what occur
yeah.
in families. The net worth gets spent providing for illness or
She's
something.
been paying private health,
And they can then qualify because they no longer have the assets.
Right.
Okay, Mr. Damon. I don't have anything.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And just to, I'm looking at the ordinance here. So it looks like, and correct me if I'm wrong, this original ordinance started out at 40,000.
And
then we've had the inflation adjustments and had a cap of 50,000, and now we've hit that cap.
That's correct.
So the recommendation is to move to 50,200, continue with the inflation adjustments and just eliminate a cap altogether.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Any more discussion? Thank you, Mr.
Thank y'all very much.
Good to see you. Okay. Please cast your votes, please.
All right, initiating the vote now. Motion passes 7-0. Agenda item number 17. Consideration of adopting a resolution to approve the settlement of a claim greater than $55,000. Matthew Freeman, City Attorney, will provide a summary of the request.
Yes, City Council. So this is related to giving me authority to settle a claim for the city that's above $55,000, which is the limit that is part of the city's self-insurance program. So this particular settlement authority is related to a overflow of a city sewer line that affected property and caused a lot of damage and needed a lot of cleanup at 712 Sand Hill Drive. I would recommend settling this matter. This is something that the Department of Water Resources, as well as my office, the risk management program, will be sharing the expense in.
May I have a motion? Mr. Ferrari?
Second.
Second. Want to speak to your motion? Mr. Missions? Is there any discussion? Cast your votes, please.
Initiating the vote for approval. The motion passes 7-0. Agenda item number 18. This comes from Councilmember Timmer, Responsible Fathers Month.
Ms. Timmer?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have spoken about this in roll call as well as the work session, but as you can see in the agenda item, I've put forward a resolution to declare June Responsible Fatherhood Month. We have a lot of great organizations in our city, from Dare to Dad, the effort to make fathers great again, and so on. And we've even spoken about it tonight, that there is a need and a value for responsible fatherhood. With that, I do want to note, because I have been in ongoing conversation with a constituent who I'm going to read a statement from her. And unfortunately, her experience in this was not as favorable as many, and I want to give her voice in the value of this discussion. I haven't been to a church service on Mother's Day or Father's Day in the past 10 years that there isn't a caveat for those that don't experience the benefits and value of what those individuals are meant to bring forward in our lives. And so I do just want to honor and acknowledge that, and also bring forward that what we celebrate, we encourage and facilitate replication. And so if we fail to celebrate responsible fatherhood, we're leaving a huge gap out of fear of offense. And so I want to read this statement and acknowledge that trauma is a very real issue, and then put forward 2 stats that I brought forward in the work session that I think are really valuable. So this is from a constituent who asked to remain unnamed, but she highlights trauma-informed principles and says trauma-informed principles recognize that the child's experience has a lasting impact on how they grow, learn, and relate to others. They encourage us to focus on creating relationships and environments where the children feel safe, supported, and understood. When it comes to fatherhood, these principles remind us that what matters most is not simply a parent's presence, but whether a child feels loved, secure, valued, and protected. And so I appreciate her bringing that element to the conversation, and I think we can all agree that those are elements that are included in the definition as well as the connotation of responsible in the nature of this resolution. 2 things to highlight, and there are so many, and I'd encourage everyone to read this book, The Boy Crisis, but 2 things to highlight that I brought forward in the work session. You know, we've gone past the point of correlation when it comes to a father's role in the home to clinical understanding of causation when it comes to some of these statistics. And so violent crime, you know, we talk about that a lot as council members. We've talked about it tonight. Every 1% increase in fatherless in a neighborhood predicts a 3% increase in adolescent violence. And then one other point to note, when it comes to poverty and mobility, children who were born poor and raised by both parents had an 80% chance of moving to the middle class or above. Conversely, children who were born into the middle class and raised without a married dad were almost 4 times as likely to end up considerably poorer. So it's a value to our children, it's a value to our society, and I hope that the council will pass this tonight. And so with that, I make the motion to pass the proclamation that I put forward in the agenda packet.
I'll second that.
You want to speak to it? Yes, second.
I just want to thank you for bringing this forward. I think that my colleague has done an incredible job putting this beautiful resolution together, and it just makes sense. It's something to celebrate in June.
Okay. Any more discussion? Mr. Wilder?
Yes, thank you. I do understand the importance of fatherhood. The state social service has a program called Fatherhood Engagement Month. Is it similar to that, or should we call it Fatherhood Engagement Month, or should I think the difference between engagement versus responsible? That's the state program is called Fatherhood Engagement Month in the month of June.
I would actually like to maintain responsible because I actually think it includes the connotation of what my constituent brought forward when it comes to kind of the trauma-informed practices. So not so much just engagement as far as being present, but actually owning the responsibility of the role altogether and recognizing that in the resolution, this also recognizes father figures within the community as well as adopted or step, not just purely biological fatherhood.
Just so we know, there's a state program for the month of June, which is Fatherhood Engagement Month, just so we understand that, yes, from the state social services, yeah.
You know, I've had the experience where a young man come knock on my door and say, I need to talk to somebody. You are the father of the community. Yeah. So if you live your life and build into other people's lives, young men will see that. They will come to you. I was at an event this week with Dr. Wilder and a couple other people. A young man came over to me. He had grown up. He had went off to college, became a sheriff deputy, and said I was like a daddy to him in the community. He didn't have a father, but I was like a daddy to him, and he recognized that. And throughout the community, the young people recognize real men. They will come to you, they will talk to you, and they trust you. And fatherhood is an excellent thing. I enjoy it. You know, I got 6 children, none of them in prison. And it's amazing. All of them have some college education. And I grew up fatherless. But my God is so good that He allowed things to happen in my life that affect other people's lives positively. And thank y'all. I'll be voting for this.
I just ask a couple of clarifying questions. So we've talked about this as proclamation and resolution. Is it council's understanding that I will record this in my resolution book like I would any other resolution you pass?
Resolution.
Okay.
Yes.
Second, so we do have a spot for name and title of official. On proclamations, that's normally where the mayor's name would go. Am I putting city council's name there as a body?
Would you like, I'm comfortable either way. I would defer to the mayor as to whether he would like his name there, and I'm happy for that. I'm also happy if council would like to do that. So I defer to you, Mr. Mayor.
It's fine by me.
I think since it's standard to have the mayor's name there and he's comfortable, I would welcome that it be Mayor Larry Taylor.
Okay, and then also a spot to choose a day that you are proclaiming Responsible Fathers Month. You are passing it today, so is today that day?
Today is the day.
Okay.
Today is the day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You ready
Let's
to
vote,
initiate?
please.
Motion passes 7-0.
Point of information.
Yes.
Does this mean that you guys will now broadcast on the social media channels that we have declared June Responsible Fatherhood Month? I'm asking, that'd be great. I think it would be wonderful if we did that.
Agenda item number 19. This comes from Mayor Taylor. It's a motion to reconsider Resolution R26055 regarding the Liberty University enrollment projections.
Yes. May I have a motion, please? What happened? I voted for a substitute motion instead of a main motion. I was meant to vote for the main motion, which said, can you, Ms. Alicia, quote that main motion for me?
The main motion was to approve the substitute motion was to approve the resolution that was passed 4-3, that then became the main motion.
The original motion was
I do not have that.
It was to deny.
Okay.
to deny. And I mistakenly voted for the substitute motion, and I meant to vote for the original motion. So I'm rescinding my vote on that to vote for the original motion.
So Mayor, to accomplish what you're thinking, you would need to make a motion to reconsider your, the previous adoption of the resolution that was approved. So if that's what you want to do, you need to make it in a form of a motion.
Well, I'm making a motion. Mr. Mission.
There was language in the original resolution that actually required staff to take immediate action. It has now been 2 weeks. Has staff complied with the direction of council that said immediately in several of the clauses of Mr. Benda, and several of the clauses of the resolution? Has staff?
You pointed those clauses out to me, but almost immediately, the mayor said he was going to reconsider his motion. So we have put things on pause, understanding where he was headed with his motion. He almost immediately, the next day, made it known to staff that he was going to make this motion to reconsider.
So the answer is that there was a majority direction from city council for staff to take immediate action, and staff did not. That's the question I'm asking. It's a simple question.
Like I said,
I'm asking the question because the resolution was adopted 2 weeks ago. And
In which the mayor the next day, the mayor the next day.
You're interrupting me,
almost-
Mr. Manager?
Excuse me, Mr. Mischins.
The resolution was adopted. It said immediately. So has staff done nothing? That's all I'm asking.
I'm not aware of all the particulars. I know that we've researched some things. So to say that there's nothing isn't the case. But almost immediately, the mayor informed staff that he had made an incorrect vote in his opinion and was going to make this a motion to reconsider.
And that's exactly what I did.
Point of order then. I've got a question.
Go ahead.
For the
What's
city
your point of
attorney.
order?
When city council votes, passes something unanimously, takes an action and calls on the city manager to do something immediately, does the mayor's personal opinion about whether he wants to do something different change the legal fact that this body, by a majority vote, directed him to do something immediately? Does that override that?
So, no, I don't think it does. But what I would offer is, if the manager or even myself knew that this was going to be reconsidered and there was information that need not be or should not be disclosed, say it was something of a confidential or sensitive nature, staff would not disclose that because they would want to be cautious to know that city council would.
Not my question.
Well, I answered.
You answered it.
Yes, we
You
would,
answered
we would
it.
do the direction, but.
Thank you.
Knowing what it was, that's probably why it wasn't acted on.
And within 24 hours, I said I was rescinding my vote. And that's what I'm doing.
I'm sorry. Sorry, I have a point of
Yes,
clarification,
ma'am.
totally separate than the other conversation. So in the nature of Mr. Mayor, Mayor Taylor, having to put forward a motion to reconsider, is this almost like a substitute where you first have that as the main motion, where it's a vote on whether to reconsider, and then there would have to be a separate vote on whether or not the initial resolution was rescinded? Is it similar to a substitute motion where it's a two-part action, or is the motion to reconsider simply the main motion being represented as a yes or no straightforward vote?
It's your main motion, but all the motion to reconsider does is put the resolution itself back on the table.
So it's not a two-part on whether we reconsider and then the reconsideration, it is all one.
Well, yeah, you do too. So
You do too. Okay,
reconsider,
that was the question. Thank you.
and then
Okay, so it's a
you would vote.
two-part vote. I
Yes.
just wanted to
Yes.
clarify that. Thank you.
Now, may I have a motion?
You made the
I
motion.
made the motion, yes. You second? You want to speak to your second, Ms. Reed?
Well, I'll offer this information. Mayor Taylor made me aware the night of the vote, after we were standing outside, that he had made a mistake. So with that said, it was not a majority vote in his mind because he realized he had made a mistake. Also, from what I recall, if I go back through my emails, I believe the directive to immediately do things was made by one council member, Mr. Mischins, not by the entire, the three remaining council members, saying something was supposed to be done immediately. That was done by an individual person, not by the majority. So to attack staff over not doing something when only one person made that directive is unfair. And secondly, if the mayor has said, I mistakenly voted the wrong way, and he let staff know that within 24 hours, and so they paused, or knowing that that was not a legitimate majority vote, then again, staff was not doing anything wrong. The mayor admitted that he voted wrong, and otherwise it would not have been a majority vote. So I'm supporting your motion to do what you intended to do, sir, and get this back on the table. Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Michigan?
I'd like to read that email that my colleague mentioned, and it says, Winter and Alicia, I've attached a PDF of the bond rating agency corrective action resolution as adopted with the amended language. Winter, please take note. There is immediate action on your part in resolving clauses 1 and 6. Thank you. Have a wonderful night. And resolving clauses 1 and 6 state the city manager shall immediately transmit written corrective notifications to Moody's Investor Service, Fitch Ratings, and S&P Global Ratings, formally retracting the inaccurate 30,000 student enrollment projection and the derivative 20% population growth projection. Section 6, the city manager shall immediately implement a litigation hold and direct the preservation of all documents, emails, text messages, notes, calendar entries, and other communications related to the projections and their communication to rating agencies or the public. That was adopted by a majority of council. That is direction to staff to do something and act immediately. That is what the language says. So there was not direction from one person to staff to do something immediately. The resolution itself required staff to act immediately. That's what it said. Just want to clarify that. I will not be voting in favor of the reconsideration. There was inaccurate information that the city put out there, and the record should be corrected. And I stand by my original vote and my original position.
Mr. Ferrari.
I'm looking at the document that supposedly we passed 2 weeks ago, and it does incorporate what Mr. Missions stated. However, I'm curious because I didn't realize that was in there. So what you uploaded for the public to see what we adopted, did you receive that after we voted or before?
So during that portion of the meeting, trying to recall, it was a mix of pulling clauses and items from Councilmember Timmer's resolution and Councilor Missions. I did that myself.
Good job.
And then I compared it to what Mr. Missions had sent in an email, and they did a line.
So you didn't have the document.
I had both documents, but then they merged to create a new document, if you will.
Okay, thank you. Mayor, did you know that was all in there? Because I didn't know that was in there. Stephanie, did you know that was in there? Because I didn't know that was in there. The point is, I remember a very famous clip from a politician I vehemently have a separate worldview with, but I guess you have to pass something to find out what's in it, because I didn't know that that was in there. I didn't know we were saying, we're going to tell the manager, we're going to do immediately, and this, that, the other. And with all due respect, Mr. Missions says a lot, Mayor, and I miss some things. So be that as it may, the public didn't have this document. I didn't have the document. We're throwing stuff together on the fly, and we're expected to make a judgment call. It only proves the fact that the manager had quite literally conflicting messages left and right. And the only insistence that someone should do something immediate was from one of the authors of 50% of the resolution. All I'm going to say is there's nothing wrong with getting this back on the agenda unless you're just going to use a parliamentary procedure to avoid that. So if your only shot at keeping your way is a parliamentary gimmick, go right ahead.
Ms. Tillman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Wow, that was some gymnastics. So I'm actually going to vote in favor of reconsidering because I think we should have the option to reconsider and follow the rules. I will not be voting to rescind the motion because I stand by my previous comments that have been clearly articulated in a, goodness, roll call, work session, published document that everybody's had for the past month. So I'll be standing by what I voted for. That was openly debated and considered and published. But I'm happy to allow you the opportunity to reconsider and vote your conscience. Thank you.
Mr. Dean.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, like Councilwoman Timmer said, the information was out there. If you missed it, that's on you. I ultimately have voted the wrong way before and went to the clerk afterwards to try to change it, and she correctly told me that that wasn't an option unless I wanted to bring it back up at a future meeting. having voted on the prevailing side. So that was correct, and it happens to the best of us. I'm okay with that. I can explain that to my voters, and, I'm not perfect. I will be the first to tell you, and anybody who knows me will confirm that. But I will say that I plan on voting against all of this because we made it clear to the staff what we wanted, and we wanted it immediately. And the vote is what matters, not somebody's intent. We voted to direct you very specifically to do things immediately. That was what we did. The vote is what matters, as the attorney has told us. That is the legal action this council took legally, directing you legally what to do. You really didn't have an option to say, well, maybe somebody intended something else. That's not the way things work, Mr. City Manager. That is not how it works. We told, you have to deal with his point of order.
Yes.
My point of order is I interpret these comments as antagonistic and confrontational to the city manager in a manner that is demeaning of his honor and violates our rules of procedure.
What's your rule?
I've stated the rule. If you want the number, you get the man with it right
You
there.
need to state the rule. If you're going to make a point of order, you need to tell us.
I've
What
stated
rule?
my point of order.
Point of order, stand.
So you're ruling in favor of his point of order, I
Yes.
understand?
Yes. It
He didn't
stands.
even state what the order number was, the rule. He needs to state what the rule is, Mr. Mayor. He did not state that. You're going to rule in favor of
You
a
got a
point of
rule.
order that has no rule.
I'll state my point of order rules when he does, Mr. Mayor.
I didn't make a point of order.
You did earlier.
Okay, let's not get into a bunch of conflict.
Well,
We
I was
got a
getting
motion on
ready
the
to comment
table.
on the substance of the actual resolution,
Well,
because that's what matters.
But you can't be belittling people. You're talking down to the city manager, and you shouldn't do that.
The city manager made a decision.
But
and
you shouldn't do that.
Point of order.
Did not count people get up and criticize Marty tonight and allowed that to happen.
Well,
So is he exempt
But he
from it?
wasn't in your position. You're in a
Okay.
higher position.
Well,
You setting up.
So
there.
he's immune from me
Point of order.
criticizing?
What's your point of order, Marty?
My point of order is that the rules of procedure clearly say that the right exists to comment on the performance, conduct, and qualifications of public figures. The
There's a rule, and he
performance,
stated it.
conduct, and qualifications of public figures. It is in section 5(4). The
Oh.
right to comment on the
Public hearing
performance,
section.
conduct, and qualifications of public figures.
The public hearing section.
No, that's the prohibited conduct section.
Okay. Let's vote.
Let me finish my comment.
Let's vote.
I'm asking you to rule on the point of order, Mr. Mayor.
I did.
No,
I said it stand on your point
on my
of
point
order.
of order, we have the right to
You read it.
comment on the performance, conduct, and qualifications on public figures. And I felt like you were trying to silence my colleague on doing exactly that.
Mr. Friedman.
So, Mayor, what I took from it is really what it sounds like you're doing is just trying to permit the vice mayor to make his comments, but not make it in a harassing manner.
Yes, sir.
So if he wants to speak to criticism or critique of performance, I think there's a certain way to do that, but not in the sense of being harassing towards the manager.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Ms. Timmer.
Thank you.
Right to let the vice mayor finish, if that was the intent. I'm just trying to be helpful.
Yeah, I'm done with that issue. I wanted to talk to the
Sorry,
substance
Jacqueline, I
of
was-
the resolution that we voted for. Can I finish my comment?
I'll yield to
Go ahead,
you,
Mr.
Mr.
Dean.
Deemer.
So as to what we passed, hopefully everybody's up to date with what it is. It said we need to be correct the misinformation that went out. Staff member said it was inaccurate. That was their words. So our resolutions, and there was 3 of them, were combined and passed. So transparency, big issue. If we put out inaccurate information, we should fix it. You were right on your original vote to vote for it because it allows us to fix the problem. And the second part of it is it allows us to look at policies that make sure that inaccurate information isn't sent out again. Why in the world you'd want to change your mind on that at this point? Both of those are wonderful things. They're great things. When we make a mistake and we say something that's inaccurate, we need to fix it. Not keep hiding it, because what we're doing right now is redoing it, just shove it back under the carpet and not deal with it. The longer we go without fixing the incorrect information that we put out there, the more culpable we as a city, as a council, as staff are for the information that we put out that's inaccurate. If you don't deal with your inaccuracy quickly and prudently, then you can be accused of a lot of things. You're not dealing with it. This resolution dealt with it properly. And to go back and try to reverse course makes no sense, because we need to be transparent. We need to fix it when we say things that aren't accurate. And we need to make sure they don't happen again. And this resolution did that. It directed staff to do that. And it still needs to be done.
Mr. Moore.
We've just had 3 conversations. So I'm going to re-explain my vote and briefly address the 3 conversations we've just had. One is on the characterization of Mr. Deemer's language and the question of staff's responsiveness to a resolution that was passed. And I want to identify in the context of that conversation that Mr. Friedman, you characterized his language as harassing, and that's not the role of interpreting or reading the rules of procedure. The second element being the resolution itself, which will come up after this motion, which is the question of whether we're going to reconsider it altogether. I will support the motion to reconsider in order to support the mayor's right to vote his conscience. I do not support the second part, which is the third part of our conversation, which is the question of self-disclosure when it comes to publicly stated information that is in conflict with the current public statements of a local institution. And so because of that, I believe that self-disclosure is the most appropriate course. So I will vote for the permission to reconsider. I will not vote in favor of rescinding the motion that passed. And as such, stated the need for immediate action to be taken. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, let's vote.
All right, initiating the vote to reconsider now.
Reconsider.
The motion passes 5-2. And now the resolution is back on the table.
The resolution is back on the table.
All right, Mayor.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Recognize him. Mayor, you didn't recognize him, so Mayor.
Well, he had his hand up first, I was going to say.
Motion to approve.
Second. Who's the motion?
To approve the resolution that we approved 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
we've already approved.
Okay.
All right.
You want to speak to it?
Sure. I mean, I think that it's important that we do this. It's important that we correct the record. I stand by the vote last time, what we did. Everybody's now had an opportunity to see it that says that they didn't have an opportunity to see it before. One thing that is concerning to me from section 6 in the resolving clauses, it said that the city manager shall immediately implement a litigation hold and direct the preservation of all documents, emails, text messages, note, calendar entries, and other communications related to the projections and their communication to rating agencies of the public. We've had 2 weeks and no immediate action reported on that part from a majority direction last time. If you're talking about a litigation hold and preserving documents, and then in 2 weeks you do nothing about that, that's concerning to me. That's extremely concerning to me. The point of that is to act quickly while things are still there and available to preserve. And I sure hope that all those things are still there and available to preserve. You know, it's this resolution was about correcting the record, and making sure that we protect our integrity as a city. And that's also about training. It's also about making sure that we have the policies moving forward to make sure this doesn't happen again. I think it's a good thing. I really appreciated the work that Councilmember Timmer put into this. This was a combined effort, and hopefully it passes.
Mr. Deemer?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've experienced a lot of things since I joined this council up here. And it's a real honor to serve the citizens of Ward 3 and the citizens of Lynchburg. One of the most disappointing and disturbing things that I've experienced since I got on this council happened to me and to Councilman Mizgens and Councilman Timmer recently. And that is that we were threatened with a defamation lawsuit if we went forward with this resolution. Now, we didn't name anybody in these resolutions. In order to defame somebody, you have to name somebody. We weren't pointing fingers. We weren't assigning blame. There's plenty of blame to be assigned for what you didn't do, but we weren't assigning blame for what was done, inaccurate information being given out. We were really hoping they would just fix it and make sure it didn't happen again. That's all the resolution was about. Why would you threaten us with a defamation lawsuit when we clearly didn't defame anybody? What are you trying to hide? Why did you try to silence this? I don't know why. I don't have the answer to that question. But the citizens of Lynchburg need to understand what's going on here. Because I didn't run for city council to be threatened and intimidated into silence. It's not going to work on Kurt Deemer. I'm going to speak up. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to be transparent about what's going on. And I have to tell you, that's the worst thing that's happened to me since I came on here. And I'm shaking right now because that should never happen. That should never happen.
And let's vote.
Oh, no, wait.
Oh. Ms. Reed?
She's right.
Yes, thank you. Oh, there's so much I want to say, you guys, but I'm just gonna keep the words on the inside and say, I'm gonna make a substitute motion to deny the resolution. And I've already given all the reasons before. And did someone talk about beating a dead horse earlier? Because we have beat this horse. And 45 times. So, yeah.
No.
If we deny the resolution entirely, it's the same result as changing the motion, so. Yeah.
Unnecessary.
Just vote no.
So withdraw my substitute motion?
I would advise you to.
Okay, I will withdraw my substitute motion.
Okay.
It's the same outcome.
Call for vote.
Fine.
Sorry.
Is everybody?
I'm good. All right, initiating the vote for approval of the resolution. The motion fails 3-4.
Meeting adjourned. Next meeting, June 23rd. Second floor. Thank you all.